Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Nermodon, and I'm basically going to be doing a commentary for you guys over some Battlefield 3 today. I'm going to be flying in the Viper helicopter on Rush. I don't know what the ticket says, but I presume it's probably just standard 100%. But anyway, the gameplay was extremely long, so I got to give myself a pat on the back when I say that I took off 25 minutes of absolute garbage for you guys. So I basically saved you guys a long time, and I definitely saved my computer from having a mental breakdown trying to render 40 minutes of a helicopter gameplay. I'm hoping everything looks okay when I upload this. You know, I've had complications in the past with uploading helicopter gameplay, stuff like that. I've had it to the point where it messes up, but since I have basically revamped my setup and done a lot of different things, everything should work okay. There should be no complications on the movements and stuff like that, but I guess we will tell. So anyway, I wanted to really break into a couple of topics. There's a couple of things I want to bring into side note before we really get into the main gist of our conversation, I guess you could say, or the commentary and just. But anyway, I get a lot of messages a day from video comments, more or less personal messages, talking about the supposable HD PVR giveaway kind of thing. And before we jump into that, I want to basically address that my Elgato was supposed to be here, but I got a message and an email from Amazon saying that they sold out at the time that I ordered it, and I could either, be left on a waiting list until they get more in stock, or, I could just get my money back. So I chose to get all my money back, and, unfortunately the Elgato's not going to be here, but I did just put an order in 10 minutes ago for the actual Elgato site, and so that should be coming anywhere between 5 to 7 business days. I would like to put in a speedy ship or what all that, but I'm not going to pay $70-some for a product that is, $179.99 or something like that. I'm basically paying for half price for it to get shipped here. It's like, well, I'm not going to pay, $70-80 for it to get shipped here. I'll gladly pass on that. So anyway, it should be here sometime next week, I guess you could say, but I guess I'm looking forward to actually having the opportunity to, I guess, try it out. And how does this relate to the HD PVR? Well, as a lot of you guys know, I said I, might give it away, something like that, and I do plan to give it away. I think that'll be a great opportunity for you guys to participate and have the ability to maybe start your own YouTube career or whatever you choose to do with it, I guess you could say. But with that in mind, definitely I'm going to wait a little while on that. There's not enough of you guys that would really compete for it or have that kind of satisfying outcome, I guess you could say, in my perception, to the point where I'd be like, oh, well, hey, let's give it away. The only problem with that is that there's only like there's only probably about 25 of you guys that are active, and I don't really have the subscriber count that I think it would be really, really cool for a lot of you to participate in. And the reason I say that is there would be no like rating system comment for it or anything like that. I would definitely open up a fan Facebook page, and that way you guys could go over there and vote. So there would be no like complications of the whole comments of, money whore, you're doing this for views and subs and all that crap that everyone gets all angry about. I would definitely find a way that would be a little bit more susceptible to positive reaction, so there would be no like benefit for myself or anything like that. So with that in mind, definitely that'll be something that I will do later on. I'll keep you guys up to date on that. If you were hoping that I was going to do a giveaway, it's still in the works. I'm still going to do a giveaway that is going to be the HD PVR. It's just not going to be right now until there's a lot more of you guys, because I don't really see a point in it. It's like me picking out of 5 of you guys going, well, let's see here, you guys have a 20% chance of winning, and I just don't see the purpose in that. I see it kind of like, hey, I'm giving away something that costs $200 just, randomly, instead of it having like an outcome that a lot of people are really excited for and something like that. I don't know, you guys can take it or leave it for what it is. There's definitely no benefit for me to be made, but I'm going to wait a little bit until there's a little bit more of you guys that could be a little bit more active and stuff like that. And then I think it'll be probably a good time to give it out. And plus, when the Elgato gets here, I have absolutely no experience with it, and I haven't really seen any reviews. So I don't know if the Elgato is something that breaks after a while or anything like that. I haven't heard it breaking, but, it's better to be safe than sorry. I don't want to basically give away my secondary device and be like, well, the Elgato is going to be just fine. It'll last me, 20 months or something ridiculous, and then a month later it breaks, and be like, oh, well, I'm out of production for videos until whenever, because I don't really keep a huge stockpile. I have enough that would last me probably about a couple of weeks, but, it just depends on what I would do from that standpoint, how much my job was paying when my paychecks came and stuff like that. And you guys will just hopefully understand that. It'll be coming at a later date, but until then, I think I'm going to hold off a little bit on it, and we will go from there. So anyway, I wanted to address that because I get about 10 messages almost a day asking about my PVR giveaway, and I have to respond to those probably in the most positive way I can when I'm trying to, give you guys a just answer on that, but hopefully you guys will understand, and hopefully you guys have liked my editing so far. You know, I worked really, really hard. I spent about an hour and a half, believe it or not, editing just this game, which kind of makes sense. You know, I have to watch it pretty much the entire thing, and I don't really have the opportunity to be like, well, this part really wasn't that great, you know, something like that. I gotta watch probably about 15 minutes of it before I can really make a huge decision if this is something I want to keep or get rid of or whatever. So hopefully I've been, you know, regaining your guys' trust, making it, I guess you could say, interesting to watch, needless to say the least. I thought my fade effects were pretty good. I think I've been fading in about the right area, so it's not like, what, did I just miss 50% of the gameplay? You know what I mean? So, anyway, I thought I'd let you guys know about that, and there's a lot of information that's still on the horizon to let you guys know about as it comes fit. But anyway, I did talk about some things. I said I was going to talk about the gameplay and the action of the ground infantry on this map. You know, as I stated before, it's really not a console map, but it's awesome for flying jets and helicopters, tanks, LAVs, transport vehicles, stuff like that. So, anyway, what I wanted to really talk about was the ability for the helicopters to be pretty consistent on this map. I would say, as long as you know how to play the game and you have communication with your co-pilot, usually everything's going to work out just fine. There's usually not a whole lot of complications that will arise, but definitely if you have a bad pilot, and I did during this gameplay, but you guys didn't get to see it, he hit a pole going about 50 miles an hour. It was awesome. You know, he just splat right into it and I got a free death. But with that in mind, definitely, when you do have a good pilot, someone that knows how to do the circle strafes, you know, can fight the jets off, get them off your ass, because this guy was just a douchebag during this game. Rammed me 7 or 5 times or whatever. It was ridiculous, but I don't know, I would say I'm a pretty good pilot. I mean, I'm definitely not the best. You know, I definitely hit poles myself. I mean, half the time there's a pole. I don't know if you guys have seen it or not. I don't think I actually get anywhere near it, but there's a pole on the main road when you're going to the second set of MCOMs that doesn't render until you're 5 feet in front of it, and then when you hit it, you blow up. And it's kind of stupid. You guys might have a better idea if I was to show you the pole, but anyway, the point is when you're heading on the main road onto the second MCOMs, there's a pole that just shows up out of nowhere, and it doesn't render in time, and then you just die. So that always pisses me off. I always forget about it because, you know, you're like, oh, well, the pole's farther down the hill, or it's not in this spot, and then it shows up right when you're about to hit it, and, well, you die. And that's a complication that I really hate. I don't know if PC has that problem because you guys, you know, of course, you guys have better connection, better ping rates, the maps are made a little bit more for you guys, your equipment's a little bit better, obviously, than the consoles, and the list goes on. But I don't know if you guys have any problem with that, but I know that I hit this frickin' pole all the time. It is the most aggravating thing that I've ever had to deal with playing Battlefield, especially on Kharg Island. There are other complications on other maps and other issues that arise, but this is by far one of the most stupid that I've ever had to deal with, and it's really aggravating. It pretty much pisses me off beyond comparison. But with that in mind, guys, as for the infantry perspective as this goes, like tanks, you know, Humvees, the infantry units that have to run and shit like that, you know, infantry is usually pretty fun on this map. I would say it's a little bit aggravating if your team, especially on defense, doesn't know how to use a javelin or a small RPG, whatever side it is. I would say that's probably the downfall to playing on the defending team, but attack especially, you probably want to be running like assault, engineer especially. You could use support definitely to blow up tanks and get into the MCOMs, blow the building on the second MCOM especially, and it's all basically dependent on different factors, you know. I would say the defending team definitely needs to focus on engineers a ton, especially javelins, small/RPGs especially. Since you're going to be, you know, dealing with helicopters, you might want to have a couple of guys that are dedicated to stingers. If you're on the PC, I'm sure the helicopter is really not as overpowered as it is on the console side, because you guys have, you know, 32 players that can pick up different roles and stuff like that. Now, with that in mind, you definitely will see a lot of wannabe snipers on Kharg Island. Usually they're on the defending team. They usually think that they're doing something for their team. As a lot of you guys know, I'm not a sniper fan, but anyway, I would say I would try to stray away from the whole sniping thing. I mean, if you're going to be an asset, at least pull out your SOFLAM and then, you know, mark the helicopters, the jets, so the javelins can hit them one time and blow up. I would definitely say that's the only thing that the sniper kit is really useful for on this map. If you see people that are just like, hey, I'm going to pull out my sniper rifle, I'm going to pretend I'm I'm part of the team. You know, if you're an admin, I'd probably boot them. That sounds a little mean. I used to do it all the time. I hated snipers. I don't care what map I was playing on. I think snipers are probably the reason why Battlefield's not as good as it could be. It's a really good game. It's way better than Call of Duty, but it's still really slow because snipers kind of ruin it. Maybe that's the console side of me talking. I haven't exactly played it on PC, to the point where I'd be like, yeah, that's totally right, or that's wrong, or whatever. I've seen a lot of gameplays, from the bigger YouTubers for the PC side, and it doesn't look that bad when people snipe. I think that they have a lot more targets to kill, and it's a little bit more balanced. But when you go to the console side, it's like when you see a sniper, you're like, oh god, there's 5 of you guys that are going to be camping in your spawn and not playing the objective. You're deliberately ruining the game for everyone else. And I don't know, maybe if you're a sniper, maybe you don't feel that way, but coming from somebody that likes to play the objective, likes to have a high score per minute, my score per minute's like 800 on console, which is pretty high. That's pretty high for a console player. Now PC, you guys probably have you guys are in the thousands, so that's really not that impressive, but for console, that's pretty high. And I have a great kill death, everything, so I guess I'm used to always playing the objective and always being in the action. I just can't find the will within myself to be like, yep, I'm going to sit in my spawn and pretend I'm helping the team. And I don't want to make this commentary about ranting about snipers. If that's how you guys are taking it, I do apologize, but I'm just saying from a perspective, from a console guy, sniping is definitely not something that, in my opinion, should be as relevant as it is. I think it needs to be a little bit more balanced. Maybe there needs to be a restriction to how many people can snipe on console. PC, I don't care. You guys can have 10 snipers. Do whatever you need to do, because you're going to have 22 other guys playing the objective. It's not that bad. Console, it's just really bad because everyone wants to try it and act like there's some kind of grizz and all good sniper and something like that. So anyway, I'm going to stray away from this topic because I will rant way too long about it, because it's just what I do when I get to talking about snipers. Anyway, as for the Kharg Island perspective of it, I told you guys what I would recommend and stuff like that. You guys can definitely take full advantage of the boats, which can help a lot for getting to the second and third base especially. The last base, you can actually get behind them where their T-90 tank spawns. That's a good spot to put out your boats and get the Amtrak going across there as well if you're struggling to get it on the main road due to anti-tank mines. That is definitely something I would recommend for the defending team. Once you get to the second, third, and fourth crates, I would definitely start laying down your mines, because most of the time people are pretty stupid and they just drive their tank right on the street. So you should have no complications there. You can kind of line them up in rows and spread them out a little bit and stuff like that. So that'll definitely help you on the defending team. On the offensive team, definitely you want to, if you see that happening, take the left flank on the second and third crate, and you guys can come across into the main just of where the propane tanks and stuff are, where the crates, especially on the third set, are. And you can usually sneak in there with the Amtrak, get it placed so you can have infantry on their side and behind enemy lines. As for the tanks, I would definitely recommend, bringing them down and, providing suppressive fire and, destroying their structures, getting their cover out of the way, because if they get dug in on the second and third sites especially, it can get a little difficult to get something going. As I told you guys before, the boats are huge, and I think people overlook the boats a lot. I think people think that they're just kind of there to just be there, and they actually, if they don't get hit by, something, especially a tank shell, you can usually get in there pretty quickly if you can sneak around, especially on the first site. You can go left or right. Don't go down the middle. That's stupid. I hate when people do that. You would think people would learn after getting shot by the tank and the jet and stuff like that. Take the boats on the left and right side. You'll be able to flank and get behind them and attack them from the side. That's where they'll be most weak at, because they'll be focusing hopefully on the helicopter, and you guys can get some free dog tags and stuff like that. That's my recommendations for Kharg Island. You guys can take it or leave it. I know it's a lot easier for me to speak it and be like, oh, this works every time. It's not going to work every time. Your teammates are going to get more stupid as it goes on. Maybe they'll get more intelligent. I don't know. Half the time I feel like I'm playing with a bunch of retards, but maybe that's just my luck. Maybe it's just because I'm on a different level. Maybe it's because I've played so much Battlefield that I know what I'm doing now. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But anyway, hopefully you guys will enjoy. Hopefully some of those tactics will work for you guys. I tried to add a little bit of tactics into the conversation, because I know a lot of people struggle with Kharg Island, especially on console. PC, I'm sure you guys are pretty good at it. I'm sure you guys know how to play it very effectively. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed my editing. Hopefully I, earned your guys' trust in that category, and hopefully the gameplay was something you were interested in. Anyway, the point of the commentary is I'm going to sign off, and I'll see you guys in the next installment. This is NMO, signing off. Peace.